It's very unconstitutional. It's not what our founding fathers wanted for this country. And as Christians who are sending our children to a Christian school, why are we paying for something that we could go down the street and get at the public schools?
My son came home and said they were doing Common Core math. And my son had always been an A student in math. He was now in 5th grade, and he had to now draw pictures. So needless to say, he said, I do not like math anymore, Mom. I don't like to draw, that's not my best subject, and I don't want to go to school.
I had a son come home with mathematics, which I have a background in mathematics, and just really frustrated with it. I found it difficult to even help him, even with my math background, just because it's so messed up.
If we are not enabling children to think for themselves, to think as individuals, and to think critically, then we are literally doing a disservice to freedom for generations down the road.
How frightening in America that all the children have the same thing and are doing the same thing at the same time on the same day.
When I first found out about it, the worst thing for me was that just the federal government was getting involved, or I should say more involved in schooling. And you know, everything that the federal government touches turns to crud. It's kind of like the reverse Midas touch.
All of the fads, as I call them, that I had witnessed in my years in the classroom, they all of a sudden made sense.
Is this, progressive education, socialism? What is going on where we're not, allowing parents to know what is going on at their schools? And then now with the math, I mean, there wasn't even a textbook as far as to explain this crazy new math. So right away I started thinking there's a great division going on.
When I started researching and finding out the deception that was at work here, the terrible quality of these standards that are designed, I think, to dumb down the students, it was just total outrage. They cannot do this to our children. It's not okay.
I saw how it ran parallel to Obamacare and a lot of the federal policies that have been pushed down through administrative law into our healthcare system, and Common Core mirrored that in the schools.
Computer business systems are becoming more and more common in the workplace, and they're used to really control all facets of the operation of a business, including exactly how efficient employees have to be. This model has been brought into the schools, and we see it in terms of managing teachers and even children. There's a lot of measurement and expectation in terms of just how efficiently you're to perform. So we see teachers having to live up to certain efficiency metrics, and even students on a day-to-day basis having to rise to those kinds of efficiency levels. And all kids sort of learn differently. Some kids learn all at once in a big hurry, and then sort of not at all for a while. And when they're required to be held up to daily efficiency levels, it can be quite frustrating.
The reason I ran for the school board is because they've been very secretive about Common Core and its implementation. And I think we came out on the offense. We had Duke Pesta come to Marshfield twice and really started to question the school board and where they were at. And it was a December meeting. They went ahead and passed a new curriculum guidelines, and it was Common Core throughout it, even though the administrator and the school board members continued to deny that they were implementing Common Core. They had a slogan that they were going to do things the Marshfield way. And what I found out is that it's so integrated into all the textbooks and all the curriculum that even though they say they're not adopting it, they are.
We were touted widely by our Governor Mike Pence, as having repealed Common Core. We indeed did not repeal Common Core. We simply copied and pasted Common Core and put a new name on them, rebranding. Sadly, Indiana was the first state to do that. And I think many other states realized that, okay, they got away with it in Indiana.
I don't know if there's any state that has totally pulled it out of their state. However, you're seeing the wave move against it pretty significantly. where it was kind of a Tea Party niche cause several years ago. It's expanded and it's really become more of a mom cause. Both parties, it's not really necessarily just from the Republican side or the Democratic side.
About a year ago, we came to the conclusion that there was no way that Common Core was ever going to be fully repealed. We see that it's being implemented in a way that's making it irreversible with the GED and the SAT and now the international PISA being aligned with Common Core. In our opinion, Common Core is pretty much an irreversible thing.
Almost to the point where it may not be able to be dug out by its roots like it should be. Or it's going to be so extreme to get it out that it's going to be very painful, the steps. Instead of the legislatures and the national doing something on a timely basis several years ago, the level to get that out now is going to be exponentially tougher.
So we then ourselves started going out in front of the schools and holding signs to get the parents to realize they're allowed to opt out. Those windows came down and we handed them opt-out forms to the parents. Lots of kids got the information, but from us, not from the schools, which they were supposed to be getting.
And that's basically what our focus is going to be moving forward, is teaching parents their rights, teaching parents how to stand up and use the voice that they haven't been using for a long time. Homeschooling, we're pushing homeschool very, very hard. We have a homeschool mentor group in Tennessee. So it's just coming up with legislation, with all kinds of innovative ideas to help parents work around and circumvent what we're seeing in education reform.
There's a number of reasons why I think FPE really is and the idea behind FPE is at the heart of solving the crisis we have in education. I think one of the most important factors is that we're not taking government money, and so we're not bound by the decrees of government, the latest fads and standards and experimental quackery, and we don't have to impose that on our students. So I think that's huge. Second of all, the philosophy of FPE, I think, is crucial if we're going to save education in this country. The notion that we use classical education, that we teach children how to think, not what to think, is just so crucial. We need critical thinking again in this country. We need literacy. We need real education, and FPE offers that. So I think those are really the two key reasons. It's filling a need in the market. Parents are upset with government schools, and now we're offering them tools and solutions to actually do something about the problem.